Reagan, the Community Relations Director here at Aljoya Thornton Place. And this is Michelle Barnett, and she is the Community Relations Associate, and we'll both be sharing with you today. So Aljoya is part of Arrow Living, which is a locally owned and operated company here in Seattle. And we have 8 communities total in the area. Our company's mission statement is to respect and honor older adults by enhancing the quality of their lives. And this is something that we've definitely, everybody upholds throughout their days, especially with what we've been experiencing over the last couple of months. Here's our owners, Eli and Rebecca Almo. They are still involved in the company and live here in Seattle. Our first community was in Ida Culver House, Ravenna in 1987, and Aljoya Thornton Place, our building, is the newest, and we opened in 2009. So one of the things I know, I see familiar faces here, so I know that many of you, probably most of you, have visited retirement communities before and have gone through the process that everyone's going through in terms of figuring out what your options are when you do make a move. Some of those options would be, of course, to stay at home. I know that a lot of people want to consider that they could stay at home as long as possible, or what could they do to make home comfortable, while they're there. There are month-to-month rental retirement communities. You have a traditional continuing care retirement community, and then the Aljoya model. So the Aljoya model is a little bit different. So to touch on what a traditional continuing care model would look like, you would move into an independent living apartment, and you be getting the basics and able to use the amenities. But typically in this model, if you do need extra help or supportive services, you would have to move to a smaller area of the campus, possibly a smaller apartment, and sometimes even have a separate dining room and separate activities. And then again, if your needs changed as you age in place, you may eventually have to move to a nursing care or a higher level of care area in the building. When we created the Aljoya model, we wanted to change that. We wanted to make it possible for a resident to move into their apartment that fits what they're looking for in terms of size, the view, all the features and amenities of an independent apartment, but be able to provide that range of supportive services in that same unit. And so that is what Eli and Rebecca researched for quite a long time, and what brought them to create the Aljoya model. So here at Aljoya, the idea is you can move in, you move in independent. It's just like a condo. You have all the amenities and features, all the privacy of your own home, but we can provide a wide range of assisted living services right to you in your apartment. We also can provide wellness nursing services because we have the oversight for that within the care that we provide. So some of that is the fact that we have a registered nurse 7 days a week. We also have a very unique feature here in Aljoya we're very lucky and happy to have, which is our on-site University of Washington clinic. Emily Hilderman is our nurse practitioner, and she's here on site twice a week. So she provides, for some people, she is their primary care. For other people, she can be something as a drop-in or schedule an appointment if you don't feel well and you don't want to go out to your regular doctor, you can come right downstairs and see her, covered through your insurance. We also have an on-site consulting pharmacist through the University of Washington School of Pharmacy, and they're here to provide resources and support and answer questions that you may have regarding your medication. So it is an integrative healthcare model. Everybody works together to keep you here in your own apartment, healthy and taken care of. So in addition to the care services that are brought to your apartment, we of course have a full wellness center. So we have nurse consultation hours that you receive, and we have open blood pressure clinics. We have an audiologist, foot care, podiatrist that comes in. There's a massage therapist. We can do physical and occupational therapy on site, which can be covered through your Medicare if it's a doctor's ordered physical therapy. And then we also have a social worker counselor who is here to provide individual counseling and also facilitate a variety of support groups, and can also help you communicate with, some of your providers or family members or things you might need support with. So that's the overview for the care model. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the cost structure here. So here at Aljoya, our financial model is an entrance fee model, or you may hear it called a buy-in. Basically, you pay up front, similar to buying a condo, and the costs are based on square footage, location, and view. So there's something for everyone. We have apartments that are very affordable. We have apartments that have a lot of space and maybe have a nicer view, and you can find what works best for you. And the entrance fees in turn range from $165,000 all the way into the $700,000, depending on what it is you're looking for. What you pay in for that entrance fee is 80% refundable to you if you move out, or to your estate. If you were to stay through the end of life, you know that 80% will go back to your estate. And for people, this offers a peace of mind for your family, because you don't have to worry about the housing market. You don't have to worry about a real estate agent or HOA fees or remodeling costs, updating costs, because all of that is what we do. And you just know that X amount is refunded to you. Another benefit of this model financially is that your monthly fees are lower than they would be at a month-to-month rental. So when you make that upfront investment, you have a more thorough amount of things included in your rent, and you pay less every month. And then finally, we do have a master trust agreement. This was created when we opened, and it's intended to be an added layer of security for your refund. So essentially, it puts resident refunds as the first lien holders on the building. So those would be the top priority if you ever needed to get that refund. So now I'm going to take just a few seconds, and Michelle and I are going to switch places so she can tell you a little bit more about the community.
All right. Hello, everyone. Just to reintroduce myself for those who have just joined, my name is Michelle Barnett, and I am the Community Relations Associate. We are taking questions, and we encourage you to add them in the chat box below, and we will get to them at the end of this presentation. But now I'm going to be talking about the lifestyle and the services and activities that we offer to our residents here at Aljoya Thornton Place. So we offer a very vibrant and life enrichment calendar to our residents each month. Our hope is to enhance the quality of our residents' lives, and we do so by offering a lot of services and choices. Residents moving in no longer have to worry about their home upkeep or maintenance around the house, and rather they can choose to spend their time doing activities that enjoy and have interest in. So it really can be a lifestyle change. So we offer a lot of services and amenities in our monthly fee. Just to go over them, each of our residents receives 25 meals a month, which are universal, so they can be used for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We also offer a weekly housekeeping which comes with a towel and linen service. All of the utilities are included except for your telephone, which includes cable and internet. We have a great transportation program that operates 7 days a week, and those are offered in 2 different modes. We have scheduled group transportation, which you would see in the life enrichment calendar, but that would be for trips to the grocery store, to the drugstore. We take our residents to various parks around Seattle, as well as museums and other outings. And then we also have personal transportation, also operates 7 days a week, where it's a one-on-one car service, but they can drop you off and pick you up at your location. We do have a maintenance staff on site 7 days a week, reception staff 24 hours a day, and we do ask our residents to check in daily between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 a.m., which is just a quick press of a check-in button in the apartment unit, and that just lets everyone know that they are doing well. We do have different dining options in our community. So Lily's is our full service restaurant, open 7 days a week. It is flexible as it's open between the hours of 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. Our bistro is open to our residents and their guests and serves espresso and pastries made in-house by our baker, Wendy. Our bistro is a popular space in the community for residents to just join and chat, maybe read the newspaper. We do have a private dining room on site that can be reserved for up to 14 people, reserved for special occasions such as birthday parties, anniversaries, maybe even family and friend gatherings. And then we have our garden terrace, where in the warmer months, our residents can enjoy some outdoor dining. In our community, we offer a very wide range of areas, common areas, to our residents. You can think about these as an extension of your home, if you will. So you can see here 3 photos on your screen. So I'll kind of just point them out. But so on the left-hand side is a picture of our fireside lounge, which is connected to our library. In the middle here, you can see our private dining room. And on the right-hand side is our garden terrace, which I mentioned on the previous slide is some dining options. To highlight a couple of the other common areas, we have a virtual golf room where we have a group that meets for golf chipping every Tuesday. We have an art studio where we offer weekly watercolor classes, jewelry making, flower arranging, and train your brain. We have a business center on site that has 2 computers and an all-in-one printer where residents can send faxes or make copies. That's available at all hours in the day. We have a conference center, which is our multi-purpose room. We host discussions, seminars if we have any outside speakers, like such as from the University of Washington. Also, our exercise classes takes place here. We do have an in-house movie theater where we show a different movie every day in the evening. Our guided meditation also takes place in there, and our TED Talks takes place in there. And then I'll mention our on-site salon, where we can take appointments for manicures, pedicures, and haircuts. And I mentioned a few of the life enrichment activities, which they do look a little different these days due to COVID-19 restrictions. However, our team has truly gone above and beyond with finding ways to still maintain engagement with our residents. They've just done such a good job, but just to name a few of what we've been doing recently, beverage carts for cocktails or mocktails every Tuesday. Every Wednesday, we do a lunch delivery, which supports local restaurant businesses in the area. Every Thursday, we offer sweet treat carts, art project carts where they're giving different options. If you enjoy interactive options, we have even coffee chat, which is hosted by our social worker, and that's through Zoom. So a group of residents get together and talk and discuss different events taking place. And then we've also used a lot of our in-house channel where we can still offer our popular activities like you see on your screen, but current events, fitness classes, which have been pre-recorded by our life enrichment staff and other staff. And we're even going to be doing a virtual art gala soon. As many of you know, we host our quarterly art galas, but because we couldn't have residents on site, we're doing a virtual option so people can still enjoy the work of local artists. Other popular activities include our outings, which we would visit various museums, the theater, the symphony, and even do day or overnight trips. We also have a lot of options for our residents to continue being active in the community. We do have a pool and fitness center on site. And we have classes such as Enhanced Fitness, which was collaborated with the University of Washington, Better Balance, 6-Minute Abs, just to name a few others. So we do have trained on-site staff to meet with residents one-on-one to go over their fitness goals. And then our community is also located near Thornton Creek. So we have our own access to Thornton Creek and the walking trails or walking pathways, which is very special. I mentioned virtual golf. Park walks that we would bring our residents to locations would include the Woodland Park Zoo, Magnuson Park, and Green Lake, amongst others. And seminar options from the University of Washington. So this brings me to my next slide, which is a great segue to Thrive, which many of our life enrichment programs use Thrive or integrate Thrive into them. These are collaborated with the University of Washington Social Work and University of School of Nursing. They were designed and based on research about activities that have shown to produce optimal results for healthy aging. And this thing, they encourage to challenge the mind, being active, making nutritious choices, and building relationships. And so examples of our Thrive programs would include our discussion groups. We have a men's group and a women's group. We have a play reading group and Train Your Brain, just to name a few. So when you are a resident and when you receive the life enrichment calendar on your porch every month, you'll see this Thrive logo that encompasses, again, this mind, body, and spirit outlook. So with that being said, I am going to hand the presentation back to Mariah, and we will shortly be getting to a couple of videos we'd like to share with you. Let's see.
Like that switcheroo. Okay, so we will just talk about a few other things. I get a lot of questions about the Northgate area and some of the changes that are happening here. So I wanted to touch on it a little bit. The light rail is moving right along. Every day I come into work and see the changes and the progress. And it is set to have the station here open in early 2021. And we are really excited. It's going to be such a benefit to have the light rail so close. You can get right to the university, downtown, to the airport, and we'll be able to provide transportation to residents to get to the station, or you can walk there, depending on your ambition level and how hard it's raining. And then, you know, there are some big changes happening where the Northgate Mall was. I know a lot of people have heard about the hockey rink, but there's actually more that's going to happen over there. There will be a practice NHL hockey rink, but they also have plans for a indoor-outdoor retail space. There's slated to be a park, as well as possibly a grocery store and a hotel. So, you know, if anything, we really feel that these changes are going to bring more of a community feel and tie everything together. And so we're excited about some of the things that are going to be changing around here over the next couple of years. And here's a lovely photo we just took about a week ago of our building from out by Thornton Creek. So we just wanted to give you a peek of that. So we are going to show two videos. The first one is kind of a video overview of the community, and then the next one will be a walkthrough of an apartment. Both of these videos are available outside of this program, so if it is lagging a little bit or you want to view it again, we can always send it to you afterward. So let me get that started. All right, thank you. And then the next one is a video that we recorded, and we apologize if it's a little shaky. We're not professionals, but we're getting better. So we'll give it a whirl. All right, so that concludes our overview, and we're happy to go ahead and answer some questions. So let's take a look at the chat here. So I have a question, the first question from someone. What is the difference in the services that we provide here versus Ida Culver Broadview? So that is a good question. Both Aljoya and Ida Culver Broadview can provide through to a very high level of assisted living and supportive services. At Ida Culver, you can move into an apartment and receive some assisted living in the apartment, just like here at Aljoya. One of the differences is here in Aljoya, when someone moves into their apartment, we will continue to provide assisted living through to a high level of care, ultimately through hospice, if that's what someone wanted to do. At Ida Culver House, Broadview, they can also provide some of that care, but they also have separate areas of the building. So they have just started a assisted living plus area. And so for people that did have a higher level of care need, then they may transition to that different area of the building. The next question we have is, does the complimentary transportation tend to get booked up? And that's a good question. We will basically accommodate all of our ride requests. The only thing to keep in mind is that we do ask people to schedule at least 72 hours ahead of time, and also that you may need to share your ride with someone who's going to the same area as you. So if a couple people are going downtown and you may end up at one of your appointments or your things a little bit early. We have Another question, how are you handling meals beyond the 25 a month that are included during the current shutdown? So that is basically not much has changed in regards to the meals. Most residents still use their meal credits for dinner, and we are delivering it. But we also have been facilitating and providing grocery delivery to our residents for no additional charge. They just pay for the groceries, and we've been doing that twice a week. We have a question. What are the typical monthly charges per apartment, and what is the range for different levels of care? So this is a pretty broad question, and the best way for this to be answered is to set up a time to talk with us one-on-one, and we can learn more about, you know, what it is you're looking for and what would fit for you. But the general range, our monthly fees can start anywhere from $2,500 a month and go up to around $5,000 a month, depending on the size of the apartment. And the cost of assisted living services, our assisted living is a la carte. It's a fee for service. So essentially, you would pay a starting price per month. I think it starts at about $330 a month. And it's based on what you're receiving help with and how often. So assisted living has quite a range of what the cost would look like. And let's see, another question. I see something from Martin, but I don't see the question. So I'll move on to the next one for a minute. Explain how the waiting list protocol operates. So Aljoya does have a waiting list, and there's many reasons someone might join the waiting list. At sometimes we are completely full, most of the time, and we do have a waiting list for people that are ready to move right away, and we have people who join the waiting list that are several years from wanting to make a move, but want to have a plan in place and also receive some of the benefits of being on the waiting list. So essentially, when you sign up for the waiting list, you outline what your preferences are in terms of apartments, what your time frame is, and we go over some of the things that are important to you. And it's very flexible. If your timeline changes or if you're offered a unit and then you're not ready, there's no penalty, so to speak, for not taking an apartment. Some other benefits of joining the waiting list are that you are able to come and visit the community and participate in activities, obviously when our COVID-19 restrictions change. And that's a great way to get to know people, to spend some time in the building and really get a feel for it. Just so everyone knows, you can join the waiting list for a $2,000 deposit, and that amount is fully refundable if you don't move in. I have a question. Okay, what is the layout of the building and in what direction is? So our building is an L-shaped building. We have apartments that face all directions. So again, this is something I would be happy to send to you. It is kind of a map of what it looks like. Thornton Creek and the park area sit on the inside of the north and west. So west and north facing units are going to be looking over Thornton Creek and the park. South and east are on the street sides of the building and overlook trees and some buildings. And that looks like so far the end of our list of questions. Does anybody have anything else they want to ask about on the group chat? All right. Well, so we are, oh, what are the, I have a question. What are the square footage of the units? So we have studio apartments that start, I think they're about 550 square feet. We have one bedrooms that are ranged between about 680 and 750 square feet. We have one bedroom den, which is a very popular model, and those range from about 750 square feet up to 1,000, and then two bedrooms and up, which start at about, I want to say 900 square feet and go up to about 1,200. And there's a 3-bedroom option as well. So, you know, there's lots of choices for that. And again, we have floor plans, so we're happy to provide more information. I have a question to talk a little bit about the financing for the buy-in. So for the entrance fees or the upfront buy-in that you pay, when you reserve an apartment, you would start a 60-day time frame before you would have to make your full payment and have your closing, so to speak. During this time is when most people would use that time to start the process of selling their home. We do offer a bridge loan through Washington Trust Bank, and it's a year-long interest-only loan, and we reimburse the interest for up to 6 months. So, and that's just to keep in mind, that's for in-state. So unfortunately, Washington Trust does not use out-of-state property as collateral for the loan. They can use other holdings in parts of your portfolio though, and they can also do partial financing for your loan, for your entrance fee. I'll just clarify the waitlist deposit again. To join our waiting list is a $2,000 deposit. That amount will go towards the move when you do move, or if you ultimately decide that you aren't going to move to Aljoya and you want to get off of the waiting list, we refund the $2,000 deposit in full. So it is great. There's no risk to it, but it does give you kind of a peace of mind in that next step in place. All the units do have a washer dryer and full kitchens. Let's see, I have a question about what direction is the hockey rink? So right now, we don't know for sure, but from what we've seen in the plans, if you're in our building, the hockey rink will be north of us by about 1.5 blocks. And we do offer parking. I have a question about parking. So residents do still drive, and we have a parking garage, 2 floors of a secure parking garage. The parking is an additional cost of $150 a month. It is a valet service, so you don't self-park, you just park in a staging area in the garage and we park the car for you. And then we also have a question, how long does it take to get your 80% refunded? So when you move out of your apartment, or if you were to pass away and your apartment is vacated, 80% is refunded to you within, I want to say, let me think about this and do the math. They have 60, so about 4 months, about 90 days to 4 months, or, you know, it's upon resale of your unit. But with our, you know, hardy waiting list and pretty quick selection of apartments, that you don't have a super long wait for your 80%. All right. Do I have anyone else that has any other questions they want to type in? What are the new residents' options for redecorating? So we do put in new carpet, paint, update, and make sure all the appliances are good and everything is ready for move-in. But our residents do make custom changes to the units. So you can change the flooring, you can choose paint color, you can put in built-in closet inserts, and you can change some of the window treatments, light fixtures, things like that. You can't knock down any walls, but other than that, for decorating, we're pretty open to those things.
That's probably it.
Yeah, she's gonna discuss this in
What?
Okay, well, I don't see any other questions on the chat. Michelle and I are both available to talk to you further. We would be happy to. We would be happy to schedule a one-on-one Zoom call or a phone call. We can do things over email, and we're happy to provide more brochures and more detailed pricing for you. And then hopefully, of course, eventually be able to have you back in the building or in the building if you haven't visited us before. So we're so thankful for the time you spent with us today, and it's so good to see some of your faces, familiar faces and new faces. So again, thank you so much, and we'll look forward to talking to you again.
Bye.